All right, YouTube, here to make a quick video for you guys about this steel above ground pool available on Amazon. This is branded as the Aquarium 28 feet by 52 inch deep steel pool kit on Amazon. It's right above $2,000, maybe like $2,100 before tax. And it's a kit that comes with everything. It's got the motor, the sand filter, the skimmer, everything you need to put up a pool and get it running. Now, first of all, why did I buy this pool? Well, I bought this pool because our last steel pool had pretty much rusted out and was done. And we got almost 30 years out of that pool. So I was convinced just another steel above ground pool would be our best bet. Now, our old pool was in this hole here. You can see it's not completely buried, but it is, this side is probably 2 or 3 feet in the dirt. This side is only about a foot in the dirt. And then we have that deck was overlapping the old pool that was only 48 inches, but this one is 52. So now the pool is a little taller than the deck. So basically we ripped out the old pool and we had to put this new pool back in its spot in the same hole. And it was a fun install. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about what's required of the install, how hard it is, etc., etc. This pool is going to come shipped to you on a pallet. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. As far as installing it, it's not that bad. You're basically going to have some little feet that go on the ground, and you put the lower track. There's a track that makes an entire circle, and you're going to put the track around that. Then you're going to put the actual pillars. Those are going to go when they're spacing, in the top above the track. Then you're going to unroll your steel. And handling that roll of steel is definitely the toughest part of this job. It's very heavy. It takes about 3 grown men to really handle it, and it's all one piece, and you can't cut it. You can't work with smaller pieces. So you have to really I recommend having 5 to 6 people. We did it with about 2.5 to 3 people. But I really recommend, if you're going to do this job, have 5 to 6 people on hand, because you really need extra hands to just get the steel where you need it and then hold it up so it doesn't fall, hold some of the pillars so they don't fall. It makes the job way easier. But basically you're going to put the steel in the bottom track, and once you get the steel in the bottom track and get the pool completely stood up and round, then you're going to just start putting on the top track, which is pretty much the same thing. Can't see it here because this is an overlap liner, but once you get the top track in, then you will before you put the top track in, you'll put your liner in, because your liner goes under that track basically. So you put the liner on, and then there's plastic, I can't remember what they call it, but it's little plastic pieces that go over the edge of the pool, and they will hold, you can see that right there. Those will hold the liner while you're installing this track. And you want your liner to be overlapped about the same all the way around. And as long as you're relatively level on the floor of your pool, if your liner is the same all the way around, you'll probably be okay. Now, that's when you start filling your pool. You put a few inches into the bottom, and as it's filling, you can work those wrinkles out. You can see we worked them out as much as we cared to, but you can work the wrinkles out of the bottom with a few inches of water in the pool, and then you can watch the liner on the edges. If it starts to get tight around the edges as it fills, too tight you think, you can just move this piece of plastic, take it off, and let a little bit of this overlap. If you're too loose, you can just pull some out. That's what's nice about these overlap liners, is that the liner does not have to be perfect during the install, during the filling, or even, as in the pool where the bead liners you do. So after you get this thing, filling up with water, the way we did it is, as it was filling up with water, we thought we had the liner where we wanted it. that's where we started adding the metal track. And the metal track will basically go on top of that plastic piece. And once you get all the metal track on there, then you can start, see if I can get this off. You can start screwing these pieces into the top of those pillar platforms. And once you get that in, it's real easy from there. These pieces, I can't do it with one hand, but they really just pop into place. And I really like, my old pool was from the 90s and these were all metal, but I really like these being plastic and a little softer. Also, this pool has much wider metal tops. This is not plastic, guys. This is metal. Only these caps are plastic. So overall, I think this is a, you know, it's a quality pool. It's definitely worth $2,000 for sure. I mean, it's steel. If I had any tips for you guys, I would say to just make sure these gaskets are good, because if the pool leaks right here, that's always where they rust out first. And it takes years, but it's just one of those things, you forget about it and it rusts out. Now, this sand filter and this motor you see here are not the ones that come with this pool. These are what we had with our old pool. They were just already in place, the motor, the filter, the skimmer. And so we just left them in place and we're going to use them. I will go show you the ones that come with this pool. Okay, so here's what the pool looks like when you get it off the truck. Everything's on this pallet. It's all wrapped up. You can cut this if you want and just, you know, pull the boxes off individually, but you're going to need 2 or 3 people probably to manhandle that steel off the truck. Here is the motor that comes with the Aquarian pool. It's a Hydro Tools model 714061. Looks like a 0.45 horsepower pump. I will say this is substantially smaller than the one we already had. So I don't know if these have gotten more efficient or more powerful or what, but the one we already had in place was larger, so we're just using it. Got all your fittings and stuff there. Same way with the sand filter. This sand filter setup was way smaller than the one we had over there, probably about half the size or a third of the size. The hoses are smaller, everything's smaller. So I would hate to say that this thing might have trouble keeping a pool that size clean, considering the pool itself is bigger than our old one, but the pump and filter are smaller. I don't know. I just really don't know. We haven't tested them. We're keeping them in storage. We're using our big ones. Now, the skimmer appears to be the same size as the one we had. As you can see, this liner is a solid blue. We've never had a solid color liner before. We didn't really like it at first when we were putting it out, but after it's filled up with water, it actually looks really nice and we kind of dig it. This ladder, this also comes with the pool. You can see, we never planned on using it because we have steps, but when we were setting up the liner and stuff, we couldn't put the steps in. So we put the ladder together just enough to kind of use it to get in and out of the pool. It's not assembled correctly. Now we need to finish assembling it, but this ladder does come with the pool. I don't know if it'll work with the pool in a hole like this, but if you're putting the pool up on level ground, it'll definitely work. So better than not having anything. So far, there's nothing that we dislike about the pool. We like it. We think it's made at least as good as our other one. That was, you know, 30 years old. So we like that this one's got the overlap liner. You know, it'll be easier to replace when we need to go do it. Well, it'll be easier and harder to replace. So it's less exact work you have to do. It's easier to get the liner decent, but you have to take all the tops off to do it. So, you know, pick your poison there. But yeah, we're gonna try it. This is the Aquarian 28 foot by 52 inch deep. I'll keep you guys updated on how it holds up over these next few weeks, months, and years. And I'll put a link in the description below. And if you got any valuable content from this little video, then please just click on that Amazon link and grab your pool, grab your chlorine, grab your nets, grab your pool robots, grab whatever, and support me. Thanks, guys.